Welcome everybody to Go Local Live. It is the Tuesday 4 o'clock edition. I'm Josh Fenton filling in for Kate Nagel. On the fancy networks, they would say on assignment. We just say she's not feeling well, be perfectly honest. All's well here at the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. We are so pleased to have a returning genius. I feel like it's Saturday Night Live and it's Tom Hanks. We've got Nick Garrison from Foolproof Brewery. Welcome back.
It's good to be back, Josh. Thanks for having me back on the air.
Do we have to get you a jacket, right? Isn't that they do on Saturday Night Live?
It's
they get
the
you a
5-year club, right?
5 years.
Five times.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
How many are you? 3? Is this your
At
fourth?
least 3. I want to say this is 4. I'd have
This
to look
is
back.
4. You are an all-time high. I mean, other than speakers of the House and stuff like that,
wow.
politicians, but of just sort of homegrown, cool beer guys, I think you're ahead of Duffy now. So, and you can rub that in his face. Yeah. So you're ahead of him, and all the other guys are trying to catch up with you. You've got a lot going on. First and foremost, congratulations, 6 years.
I know. Thank you. I can't
Cha-ching,
believe it.
cha-ching. Yeah, it's great.
Yes. 6 years, almost to the day, December 7th, 2012. That was when we brewed our very first batch.
Excellent.
Backyard IPA, which I've got
Awesome.
here in the studio today. So.
And then you've got a big fancy dinner, the likes for A-listers. It's kind of an A-lister kind of meal, right?
It's all are welcome. I would say by the way, it's called Barrel Reserve Night.
Right.
This will be our 5th year doing it, and it's really probably the most special event we do at Foolproof every year. And we have a great crowd. It's usually over 100 folks, and tickets are still available, by the way. Foolproofbrewing.com.
Excellent.
Head there now, get them. It's a special night, so A-listers. This is really meant for our near and dear customers, our best customers, because we break out these beers that you can't get any other time,
Nice.
any other place, and hence the name Barrel Reserve. So definitely an event you want to check out.
Absolutely. And Saturday night, where is it?
So it's at the brewery in Pawtucket off Mineral Spring Avenue, or
Right.
241 Grotto Avenue. It can be a little hard to find, so we recommend if you're getting tickets, take a second, visit our website.
And the parking's always on
the
a
parking
busy
is
night.
plentiful,
yeah.
which is rare for Pawtucket.
Right.
So a unique advantage we have
Right.
at the brewery. But yeah, 7 to 10 o'clock, right at the brewery inside. And
Is it in the new spot in the brewery?
No, so we have our expanded tap room,
Yeah.
and that's where some of the beers are served. But
Yeah.
then the bulk of the event actually takes place in the production area, in the brewery
Great.
itself. And we have a great selection of local food artisans. So it's beer and really nice food, and it's a great value.
Nice.
And of course, at the end of the event, you have this opportunity to buy up some of those delicious beers that, again, you can't get any other time. So
Can you get it on the black market or the dark web? Can you get it on
Maybe.
eBay?
I
Does
try not to,
Sotheby's
deal in that world.
auction them off every few years?
Maybe.
Right, a chateau, foolproof. And do you get a gift? I had heard that there was a
Yes, so-
spectacular.
Every year, one fun tradition is we change up the glass, right? So this year we have kind of this fancy, smaller glass. It's
Yeah.
almost like a whiskey sniffer. I like to put a little dark beer in there. It helps make the font on the glass pop out a little bit.
Font.
This is the Reverie Russian Imperial Stout, a favorite this time of year.
Nice.
So yeah, this is this year's glass, which is included in the ticket price of $35. And you get basically when you come in, you get a bunch of tokens that can be exchanged for either food, beer to be sampled at the event, or you can use those tokens for take-home beer at the end of the event.
And if I'm thinking about the perfect gift for a loved one,
I think this is it.
maybe not a small child, but for other than a small child, and I'm thinking about the perfect gift of beer
Yes.
for the holidays, because we're in that mode, right? You're trying to, and this, I say this seriously, you're trying to think of what to get a customer, or what
Sure.
to give a friend, or a business associate, or the nice people at the coffee shop next door that you want to give them something. How would they go about getting some cool, foolproof brews that are appropriate for a gift?
Yeah, well, we would always encourage people, first and foremost, go to your favorite liquor store, that carries Foolproof. If it has sort of a craft beer selection, here in Rhode Island, there's a very good chance that they already carry Foolproof. We do also offer beer at the brewery. And I think the perfect Christmas selection right here, this is our brand new 12-pack of Backyard IPA. So you talk
Nice.
about the 12 days of Christmas, right?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
one beer for each day. I mean, what could be better than that?
Is there anyone who's possibly that has the self-control that could only have one per day?
I don't know.
I don't believe that that's a possibility. Rudolph, even with his nose so red, could not have the discipline to just drink one per day.
Well, you can always restock before the big day
Absolutely.
arrives,
So that's like the perfect gift. What else would you encourage folks to think about? Listen, everybody loves, especially, we just did a gift ideas of Rhode Island stuff, whether it was Ann Hood's new book or a cool Alex and Ani bracelet, or just people love the locally made, crafted, produced types of gifts.
Yes.
What else might they jump out and pick up?
So, I mean, if you're looking for beer, I mean, we've got about 20 options if you come into the brewery, so there's plenty to choose from there. Maybe you're looking for some apparel, a fancy new winter hat, t-shirt, sweatshirt, soap, beer candle, pretty much anything with the Foolproof logo we sell.
Wait. Which of these not like the other? Which of these doesn't belong? I feel like I'm on Sesame Street. So I get it. You guys have these big fancy merchandising meetings with your New York ad agency.
Oh, right, yes.
And who kicks out the idea? We're going to do beer, glasses, let's add on apparel, and then who came up with the idea of soap?
Well, I always love the movie Fight Club, so maybe, I don't know. Is that, no, we actually have a great, talking about local small business partners, Spindrift Soap Company down in Newport. Colby, who's a friend of mine, we've been doing business with him for years. He produces the soap for us. It's made with the beer in it. And no, it doesn't make you smell like beer, if that's a concern. But it's really great soap. We also have candles. He does chapsticks. So again, pretty much anything you can think of, we put our logo on at some point.
And is this a trade deal between the two of you?
No, no.
I'm going to give you beer, you give me soap?
It's very above board, I assure you.
That's great.
But yeah, long story short, if you come into Foolproof for tasting tours, if you're coming in for the big event on Saturday night, there are plenty of things to choose from. You can get your holiday shopping all taken care of. So
that's great. So let's talk about the business. And you've hit those sort of key milestones as a entrepreneur. You're into 6th year, and now you're thinking about, okay, great, I'm doing pretty well in Rhode Island and New England. I'm looking at geographic expansion. Where else can, when we're on our next road trip, we all go on road trips here at GoLocal on a regular basis. Where should we travel in America in order to be able to stay in close proximity to Foolproof?
So currently, as you pointed out, we're pretty much focused in the New England region, but we are inching our way down the Atlantic seaboard.
Great.
We recently, actually just this past year, entered New Jersey and Delaware, and we're very excited to announce that we'll be entering eastern Pennsylvania, the Philadelphia market.
Nice. Is this the first time this has been uttered in?
I think so. You guys got the scoop here.
Nice.
So.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great. And as I said to you before, I said you got to love the city of brotherly love that once pelted Santa Claus with ice balls at a Eagles game because the Eagles weren't performing.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten over the Super Bowl loss, but hey, if they're gonna drink the beer, then I'll make amends and I'll make the trip down there.
And what's it like? Philly's a big city.
Yes.
It's a couple million people, DMA, and it's no joke down there. It's a New York, it's a Chicago. I think we sometimes forget what a big city is. Much bigger than Boston.
Yes.
And how is it going down there and spreading the word about it and building a customer base?
Well, I think anytime you look at a metropolitan market, which we've been doing for quite some time,
right.
Because we're in Boston now, and Philly is actually a great fit. So when you look at these metro markets, there's a lot of opportunity, obviously, because of the population size.
Right.
But there's also a very entrenched and a healthy craft beer market locally down there that you're competing against. So I think really what it's about is sort of carving out a niche and kind of emphasizing your brand identity. What can we offer as this Rhode Island craft brewery that maybe will help us stand out a bit? And those are discussions you have with your wholesaler and retailers. But it's going to be fun to see what happens down there in our other markets as well.
Will that be a good test for you in supporting another market? Listen, it's not right down the street. They ran out. We can run down there and drop it off at Bottles over off Wayland Square. You've got to really build some infrastructure and some logistics to be able to support all the way down the eastern seaboard.
Now, a lot of that is handled through the distributor.
Sure.
That's why you partner with them. But for sure, the farther you get out kind of from your home base, there are these challenges that come in, whether it's direct sales support, freshness on the beer, shipping costs, all of these things get factored in.
So we go New Jersey, Delaware, Eastern Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area. That's all going to hit by the early first quarter of 19. Where do we go? What else happens in 2019 as you guys are planning out your business strategy?
I don't know yet. I'll come back on the show when I have the answer. No, truthfully, I mean, we're always looking at new markets.
Yeah.
We also put a lot of time and energy behind new beers, so this is an exciting time of year. Things slow down a little bit business-wise as the weather drops, but it does allow us to really focus on strategy and sort of these big questions of where we want to go next, what do we want to brew next, and it can lead to beers like this one right in front of you, Forecast Chapter 5, which is a really fun project we do. It's sort of a rotating beer series. So playing off the word forecast, we know living in New England, in Rhode Island, our weather changes on a daily, sometimes hourly basis. So
literally.
Yes. So much like that, the beer in these cans changes. So the project has been kind of on a hiatus since last January. We're very excited to be releasing Chapter 5 this month. It's what we're calling a New England breakfast ale, and it's going to have maple, vanilla, oats, and some allspice. So it's going to have like a nice red amber color, medium body. So I think it's going to be a great Christmas time brew.
With the expansion of just the number of brewers here in Rhode Island, and it's really remarkable. I mean, the Pawtucket facilities just created a whole new layer of life in Rhode Island from an event standpoint to the opportunity for entrepreneurs. How do you continue to lead, distinguish yourself, and be at the forefront of the industry here in Rhode Island?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it is a remarkable time for Rhode Island beer, and it's great for the state, I think, and the brewing scene. So, I mean, for us, we really focus on the things we can control, right? So we just try to put out the best possible beer we can, support our retail partners, support our wholesale partner, come out with unique, creative beers that people are asking for, and also be willing to kind of shake things up every year.
Great.
I think you get in trouble in this industry when you start to rest on your laurels a little bit and get comfortable. I mean, it's funny, this beer Backyard, it's the first beer we ever brewed, and it's still one of our best sellers. It's very near and dear to my heart, but it's amazing to see what our portfolio has grown to since that first day we ever brewed beer. So again, you really have to just be willing to.
How many SKUs do you have?
Too many. I was counting the other day. If you go into our tap room, we have this big chalkboard up now that lists all the beers. It's pretty much full.
Right.
We're close to 25 now.
That's great.
And on Barrel Reserve Night this Saturday, we'll have an even broader selection. So.
That's great. For big fans, and they can't make Barrel Night, what else is in store? What are the other milestone events early in 19?
Yeah, so we have a series of large-scale events, and then we have some smaller events too. So if you can't come this weekend, next Friday, which would be December 14th, we do our recurring comedy night at the brewery, which is a lot of fun. Live stand-up comics come in, have a beer, listen to some great stand-up. We're going to have a food truck. The Burgundian's going to be there serving waffles.
Nice.
So that's one that comes immediately to mind.
The good thing about drinking while having a comedian is two good things happen. First of all, they're funnier.
Yes.
And then the hecklers are more interactive.
Gotcha.
Right, which is a key component to it all the time. I saw Jay Leno a million years ago down in D.C., and this is before the Tonight Show even, and he was such a great comedian. He'd do 400 or 500 acts a year.
Sure. Yeah.
And somebody started heckling him, and he sliced and diced this poor guy up. I think it was at the Lincoln Theater, and just left him in pieces around the theater because he was so experienced in.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's one that comes to mind. We do like a recurring beer and cheese pairing. We do beer and yoga sometimes. We've got the Valentine's Day event that we're starting to work on. So there's always something going on at Foolproof.
And all that can be found on your site. You have a great website. One of the best sites of anybody in the food industry in Rhode Island. It's a great resource, and it's always kept up to date. So a big help. This weekend, big expansion. 2019. Congratulations on
Thanks
all the
so much.
success. Nick Garrison, the guru, 6 years in business, growing up and down the East Coast. We always love having him here. We've got to get the jacket fit for him for his 5th appearance here on GoLocal Live. Thanks so much for
Thanks for having
coming
me back on, Josh.
We're going to be right back in a minute talking about Dr. Martin Luther King and an event that's taking place in Providence in January in celebration of Dr. King's life. We'll be right back in about 30 seconds.